I have a great Reddit read that one of the viewers sent me in my inbox and thought that it would be good that I read this email to all of you to just continue to show about the dangers and the toxicity of the manifesting culture and how you can get sucked into it when you're in a desperate state. And I want you guys to pay attention to this, whoever this person is, because I don't know who they are. But it's just another testimony of being careful of who you listen to when you first start this journey or when you're in a desperate place. And it's funny because someone sent me a video the other day from a creator, and in the video, the creator had mentioned be careful who you watch, be careful what you're consuming. But the funny thing is they don't even realize that they were essentially talking about themselves because this creator is someone, in my opinion, who doesn't realize that their content is toxic, or they're in denial about it. So they were indirectly talking to themselves and telling people to basically watch out for their content because their content is extremely toxic to most people. But I'm going to read this story to you guys and then go into a little bit more details after it. So the story reads as followed. The title is LOA Damaged My Mental Health. So glad I'm free. I was in a love assumption community for 9 months. I was vulnerable and desperate for answers. I thought manifesting all my wildest dreams would make me happy. I did all the techniques, sats, subliminals, visualizing, affirmation scripting, vision boards, joined every community, read every book, watched every guru, even that stupid Joseph Murphy subroutine. If you know, you know. When I started LOA, I was previously dieting and lost 40 pounds, but I wanted to lose more without dieting because I was freaking starving and weak. So I stopped dieting and lived in the state of I'm thin for months. That was my main desire, to be my dream weight. Months later, when my clothes felt tight, I weighed myself and was shocked to see that I had gained all the weight back. I was distraught. Another desire I had was to get my driver's license back. It was suspended. First time I tried, I was denied, and I got random bills in the mail. I tried with small stuff like getting parking spaces or a seat at the table and couldn't even manifest that. I felt I was going crazy. If I'm the creator, why can't I manifest even the smallest things? Everything felt like it was going wrong. The most frustrating part was the inconsistent advice from everyone. I desperately asked anyone who would listen, I'm doing sats and living in the state of thinness. Why did I gain weight? And they'd either say that I'm doing something wrong or, well, obviously you're eating too much. What? I thought the 3D wasn't real. I thought if I lived in a state, then my appetite would manage itself. Nothing made sense anymore. I then realized that I was watching videos from fat manifestation coaches giving me advice on how to change my physical appearance. And I was like, wait, why aren't they taking their own advice? Oh my God, this is great. It's that aha moment right in the middle of watching that shit. That is hilarious. If this was real, then you wouldn't be obese. I saw the people around me in my community circle also doing all of the work and not manifesting their desires either. Or people wanting to get their shitty exes back, chasing these dusty ass loser men. Oh my God. I noticed there are a lot of children in this community manifesting things like getting McDonald's or likes on Instagram. Oh, I realized that all of these success stories I was reading on Tumblr were written by anonymous sources without proof and with holes in their stories, like manifesting billions of dollars in cash. How are you planning on depositing that? Or a Jeep Wrangler when they don't know how to drive, stick shift. When asking for proof like a picture or a car, they'd say no. When asking for a pic of the 40-pound weight loss they had in 1 month, they say no. You manifested changing your physical gender, right? I got really pissed when I realized the hope I was getting from these stories were all bullshit. I lost respect for people in the community for giving people false hope. I hit a breaking point and I couldn't do it anymore. I was suffering immensely. I said, fuck it. I can't do this anymore, and I gave up. It was hard giving up on beliefs I so deeply believed in. Once I gave up and stopped trying, here's what happened. I got my driver's license back. My husband got a huge raise at his job. We traveled the world. I didn't lose weight, but I worked through the emotions like shame and fear I was feeling about my body, and I no longer struggle with eating disorder or intense body dysmorphia that plagued me my whole life and causing deep suffering. That alone is a miracle. I don't care about my weight now. I allow my body to be where it's at. I'm finally free from those emotions I was running from. My current path is the one of surrender. I don't want to control anymore. When I let go, things flow. Happiness within, not without. This path has had its own bumps, but it feels right. Some books that have changed my life and brought me more peace than LOA. Letting Go by David Hawkins. Living Untethered by Michael Singer. The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer. And there you have it. That was such a great read. And by the way, if you guys have stories that you want to share personally, or if you come across stories that you've heard and you would like me to read it on this channel, please don't hesitate to send me via email those stories. I would love to read those stories and dissect my thoughts on them on this channel. And I'm sure other people would love to hear it so they can learn from it, maybe something potentially as well. I must say, though, what this person said to end their passage and these books that she mentioned that brought more peace, or yeah, brought more peace than LOA. All of those books, in my opinion, are LOA books. The Letting Go by David Hawkins and Untethered by Michael Singer and Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer. Those are all LOA books, in my opinion, because letting go is an intricate part of the LOA process that essentially, in my opinion, has to happen in order for you to get what you want. But you hear some coaches say, oh, you don't have to let go of your desire. Why would you let go of your desire? Why would you not focus on your desire? I've heard videos in the past of some coaches saying that, saying, why would you lose focus? Why would you? Letting go doesn't mean you let go of the desire. Letting go means you let go of essentially wanting it so badly and the outcome of when it's going to happen. That's what you let go of. If you want to become successful, you don't let go of the desire to become successful. You let go of the desire to control when that shit is going to happen. You let go of the how, you let go of the when. That's what letting go is all about. Because as much as people try to say we control our desires, I've said this in my past videos, we control our desires, but we control our desires to a certain extent. The person in this video clearly mentioned, she said the 3D wasn't real, right? No, the 3D is 100% real. And this is something that I've said in my past videos. See, the thing that I realized is when you watch a lot of these videos from different YouTubers, a lot of us regurgitate the same shit that we heard another YouTuber say. We don't really use our brains and our common sense and come up with original thoughts and come up with what we think. We just hear somebody that has a big YouTube channel and we say, oh, I'm going to repeat after them. Oh, I'm going to repeat after them. And not realizing, as Tim and I always say, this stuff is nuanced, it's detailed. And so you can't just keep regurgitating the same info that you heard and be redundant just because you heard this big YouTuber say it or that big YouTuber and not actually stop to think, wait a second, is this actually real? I've told you guys in past videos before, the 3D is 1000% real. If you get shot, you're going to feel it. The 3D is real. If you were in any type of pain in the 3D, you are going to feel that shit. The 3D is real. You will not be here in this physical body one day. Why? Because the 3D is real. Some of you have to wake up and stop being tricked by the language that this community uses, because the language that the community uses will make you think, oh, the 3D isn't real. The 3D isn't real. No, the 3D is 100% real. We are breathing. If you pinch yourself, you're going to feel it. You it's real. If the 3D wasn't real, we wouldn't have desires. If you weren't real walking around this world, you wouldn't have any desires. You would be just existing. you would be in your natural state if this 3D wasn't real. But this the fact that the very fact that you have desires and want desires and all of that type of stuff shows you that the 3D is real. So that has always blown my mind when I hear people say, "Oh, the 3D is not real." No, this 3D is 100% real. This 3D for most people, the advice on how LOA people in the community say LOA is going to work for most people, I've said it and Tim has said it. It's not going to work for you guys that way. Most of you guys, just like this person said, most of you guys think you're going to lose weight without eating right or without going to the gym. And yes, there are anomalies, as there are anomalies in every category. But most of you, if you want to lose weight, you're going to have to do some sort of diet change. You're going to probably have to do some sort of exercise, maybe. But just trying to lose weight just by living in the state of losing weight, that's not going to work for everybody because everybody doesn't understand what that really means. And I thought that was hilarious when she said she realized, oh shit, I'm taking advice from fat YouTubers. That was so funny because it's true though. Some of these people, they're trying to tell you how to lose weight. What? So why haven't you lost weight? You mean to tell me you're comfortable being 200 or 300 pounds? You're comfortable at that weight? You really want to be that weight? Why haven't you lost weight? And this is no shot at anybody that's fat, but from a common sense perspective, if it was that easy to lose weight, I'm sure you would have done it by just living in the end, you know? And so that was one of those big aha moments that this person had. Like, wait a second, you're telling me how to lose weight by living in the state of the wish fulfilled when you yourself are overweight, and I'm pretty sure you don't want to be that big. I'm pretty sure you don't want to be that big. And so that just shows you guys how this stuff works. It doesn't work that way. I know it sounds good. We like to jump on the hype train but it's just not going to work that way for many people. Some 100%. It absolutely will work that way. How many Abdullahs do you think there are in the world? Right? Even Neville Goddard wasn't on Abdullah's level. Neville had a huge drinking problem, cirrhosis of the liver, died of a brain aneurysm. His second wife wasn't in good health. Neville died way earlier than Abdullah died. Abdullah, I believe, lived past 100, and Neville, I forget when Neville died. He died in his late 60s, early 70s. I can't remember on the top of my head. Something like that. But bottom line is, he didn't outlive Abdullah. So that shows you even Neville didn't really adopt these principles. And you guys people look up to Neville and worship Neville like he's this amazing person that got nothing wrong about manifestation. Like his life was all good and just whatever he thought about or spoke about happened instantaneously, like Jesus or something. Nah, Neville still had his problems, a lot of problems that we don't even know about because he probably never wrote about them in any of his books or whatever. Now let's talk about the inconsistent advice that they mention in this. That's one of the most frustrating things is when you're in a desperate state, you try to seek out community, which is part of the reason why Tim and I have created group coaching, is because we wanted to create a community where you could be around like-minded people without the judgment once a week for however long, an hour maybe, a little bit less, 45 minutes. That's why we created that group, so that we could support each other, really support each other, because people in this manifestation community, they don't support each other. People in this manifestation community, especially on Reddit and even off Reddit on YouTube, some of these people are extremely biased in what they say. And this person was mentioning that she got so much bad advice and inconsistent advice from so many people on the channel. And these people in the comments gaslighting you, blaming you. Maybe you're doing something wrong. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. I didn't come here for that. No, you're not doing something wrong. And this is what the manifestation community always likes to do. They like to gaslight you and make you think, oh, you're doing it wrong if you don't have it. Nah, it's not it. What it really is people are lying about how these results are going to work. and the expectation around the results. And that's why you're not getting what you want. But now I got to say, the people that in the community that said, well, obviously you're eating too much, they were right. They were right. Whoever, those people that said that were 100% right. Well, you're eating too much. You need to figure this out. You know what I mean? That's more practical advice. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't want to hear in this LOA community is they don't want to hear practical advice. People, we live in a generation now where I'm not saying it's a bad thing that people have gotten lazier, but in a sense, it's a bad thing, right? Technology has made it so we don't have to work as hard as people that worked 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago, which is a good thing. But this is where LOA comes into play, and it has been toxic because so many people think I don't have to do anything. I can just sit here and manifest whatever it is that I want. And then month after month, year after year goes by, and nothing happens. Nothing happens. Their lives are still the same. They're still stuck because they're sitting around waiting. And most people, in my opinion, shouldn't be waiting. And this is part of the reason, again, why Tim and I started this group coaching and working with people one on one, and they can have access to group coaching, is because Tim and I, we want to help you move the needle. We want to help you implement LOA practices along with real world practices and taking action. And so many people have gotten great results in less than 2 months of working with us by realizing, oh shit, I actually am waiting. Oh shit, this is actually something that I didn't have to wait for. Why did I wait so long to do this? I actually could have sped things up just by sending that message or doing whatever, just taking that simple action. And this is the realization that Tim and I help people realize, which is why they get movement within days, if not weeks, after talking to us just for a couple of times. So, like I was saying, you guys got to realize, and I know you're not going to like hearing it, but some of you should 1000% be taking action in your situations instead of waiting and living in the end for it to happen. Now, of course, it depends. I always say that it depends, but with a lot of you guys, I wouldn't be surprised if it was something that you actually needed to do first in the 3D and take action. And you've been waiting this whole time because everybody's telling you, wait, 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 you don't have to do anything. Neville's telling you, you don't have to lift a finger. And you take it literally and it comes and it backfires. So you got to really look at your situation and ask yourself, are you waiting long for no reason? Because if I had to bet, chances are most likely you are waiting for no reason. You should have way more movement and you should be taking movement instead of sitting around and just living in the end because that's going to make your manifestation most likely take way longer than taking the simplest action would take it, especially if you are trying to manifest something at work or manifest something with manifest contact with somebody potentially. I mean, just so much stuff. To the point of there being a lot of children in this community, I really do believe that that is facts. And I didn't really think about that honestly until months ago when the one content creator had talked about Sammy's followers being teenagers and not having money to work with her to help undo whatever robotic affirming did to their mental health and to having to see a therapist or to work with another coach or whatever. And I didn't think about that moment until then. And I was like, wow, you know what? That does make sense. Maybe they are teenagers or younger, maybe they're late teens, early 20s and they really didn't understand it that well because your brain's still developing at that time. Your brain is still developing all throughout, your 20s, even into your early 30s, honestly. But I think there's a point that, there's kids in this community when she talks about manifesting things like getting McDonald's or likes on Instagram. That is most likely a very childish manifestation that is wanted from somebody that is not a full blown adult. You know what I mean? Adults, in my opinion, wouldn't really want or care about that kind of stuff, getting more likes and especially getting McDonald's. That's but that's the thing. You never know who's watching these videos and you never know who's commenting. You know, a lot of the trolling and stuff going on in this community, in my opinion, I personally don't think it's coming from a bunch of adults. If I had to guess, I would most definitely guess that it's coming from people who are under the age of 30, maybe teenagers, maybe early 20s, whatever the number is. But when I see people arguing and hear about these arguments, because I'm not on Reddit and I don't go on other people's YouTube channels anymore. But when people send me stuff and I hear about stuff, it just strikes that, yeah, these people are young. Because an adult would not take time to tell these kinds of stories, in my opinion, most likely. Not saying they're not out there, but they would probably be anomalies. And it's also not the first time I've heard of stories always being anonymous. These stories, people talk about these stories, and all of these stories, like this person said, has holes in it. And Howard, like she said, how are you going to manifest $1 billion cash? What are you doing with that? I really don't. You gotta. I mean, I could say you keep it in a safe, maybe, but you can't really buy and live lavishly with that kind of money, because if you have that kind of money and you start buying stuff, people are going to start asking questions. It usually happens that way. You can't just go buy a house cash. People are going to say, "Where did you get this money from?" You know, you can't just go buy all these super nice cars with cash. They're going to say, "Where'd you get this money from?" Oh, I found it. All right, cool. That even sounds like a lie. I manifested billions of dollars in cash. How? Outside of winning the lottery, how are you going to manifest billions of dollars in cash? That doesn't even sound it doesn't even sound true. But this is the stuff that people in this community do. And then when you ask for proof, there's no proof. When you ask for pictures, there's no pictures. Oh, you lost weight? Let me see the pictures. No, I'm not gonna post it. And your profile is anonymous. No picture, no nothing. This is why I don't take a lot of these success stories seriously coming from just random strangers on the internet, because anybody can pay, or anybody can have somebody just go on their page or in their group and just post fake stories, fake success stories, you know, because there's no way of telling it. And like Tim was saying before in his past videos, you can have people that work for your channel to erase all the negative comments. You know, if somebody has a channel and every comment on their channel is positive, in a sense, that could be a red flag to me. That could be a red flag to me. If you go on my channel and you see comments on my channel, you will see me going back and forth with people in the comments of my videos, because people disagree with me, and that's okay. But sometimes they get crazy with it, and that's when I got to get crazy back. You know, Michelle Obama said, "When they go low, we go high." I say, "Hell nah." I said, "When they go low, take their ass to the basement." You know what I'm saying? I'm here for all the smoke. I've told y'all that. And I don't erase all the bad comments on my channel just to make my channel seem like all Marv's techniques work 100% of the time. No, I don't do that, because working with me or working with Tim, shit, we're helping you really try to manifest things and to help try to keep stuff. So that way you don't go through this vicious cycle of manifesting something and then losing it, manifesting it and then losing it, manifesting it and losing it, which is what most people do. Just because they don't really get to the bottom of the core of their problem. They just do surface level work because they always watch different YouTubers that say, "Oh, you all you need to do is surface level work. All you need to do is affirm." And that is true. There are some people can get away with that. People, you have to understand there's levels to this LOA stuff. There's levels. And I've said this in past videos of mine. Every LOA coach, to me, in my opinion, every LOA coach has their place in this space. Even if I disagree with how you're teaching, you still have your space, your rightful space in this place. For people that are ready for robotic affirming, that advice is going to work wonders for you, most likely, because you're ready for that. So please don't think that I'm saying these guys have no right or no space. No. Robotic affirming, anybody that teaches that or anybody that teaches fast manifestation methods, you have your viewers. People like me and Tim, we have our viewers. Every manifestation teacher, they have their place. When the teacher, no, what's that saying? When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. That is true. Whatever teacher you were ready for is going to appear when you are ready. A lot of you guys in the beginning, you guys are only ready for the stuff that you think is going to get you the fastest results. You are only ready for that, which is why a lot of times people come to me and tell me to F off because I'm not preaching this get your stuff overnight type of manifestation. I'm not preaching that because I know there's going to be however many thousands of people that watch all of these videos, and I know they're going to get confused and not understanding that this advice that I'm listening to is not for me right now. But see, they're not going to know that. They have to actually go through it until they figure that out. See, me, I've always been a person where I didn't have to really go through. I learned from other people's mistakes. So I avoided making a lot of mistakes in my life. But there's a lot of people out here who are stubborn and don't want to listen. And so in order for them to learn, they got to go through it the hard way. And that's what a lot of you are doing right now with this LOA stuff is you're going through it the hard way. You are unfortunately going to go through it the hard way and learn by messing up and learn by seeing, oh shit, robotic affirming isn't working for me the way I thought it would. And it's going to suck, but if that's what it takes for you to learn, then that's what it takes. And then however many months later or years later, you come back to somebody like me and Tim and you're like, man, I should have dealt with you guys in the beginning because now I wasted all this time and money going to these big YouTubers thinking I was going to get results in the beginning and I didn't. So yeah, man, you guys got to realize this LOA stuff, just like anything else in life, it can be a dirty game for a lot of people, and it is, and it's sad. But understand, like I said, everybody in this space has they have their own area, and we are all needed. We are all needed, no matter what the YouTube coach is. All of us are all needed. You know, like I said, I will give credit to everybody, even if I don't agree with how they're teaching people or misleading people. But honestly, too, I also give, uh, I place blame on the viewer. Some of you viewers out there, you got to take responsibility to yourself for falling into the trap of listening to these people. I don't just blame the content creator, I blame the viewer as well because that's how you grow. You grow when you look in the mirror and blame yourself and say, "Oh man, I was stupid. I was naive to follow that and listen to that. I should have thought more." You know? And that's why I said I blame the creator, but I also blame you as well. Viewers, you got to get smarter. You got to get wiser and understand that this stuff a lot of times isn't going to work for you the way you think it is. It's not going to work as fast. And understand that there will be a time and place once you get to that time and place when you can just affirm. That's all you can do is you can affirm, affirm, affirm. You can live in the end. There will be a time and place for that. There will 100% be a time and place for that. But in the beginning, for many of you, most likely, affirming is taking that advice is not going to work for you. I know you watch all these videos on Reddit and from certain YouTubers, and it seems like everybody's getting these great results from affirming, but no, it's it's not like that. It's really not like that. And this person that whose story I just read just confirmed it. Sometimes, if not a lot of times, the best technique is to just be still. There's a Bible verse that says, "Be still and know that I am God." That's the best thing to do sometimes, honestly. And that's exactly what this person essentially did without even realizing it. She said when she let go, if you notice the last three books that she named, The Letting Go by David Hawkins, Living Untethered by Michael Singer, and The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer, all have to do with letting go. Do you know what letting go really means? It means being still. That's what it means. It means being still. I'm not going to try to control anything. Nope, I'm just going to be still. I'm going to be still and stop driving myself crazy. Stop trying to do all of this work, you know. So hopefully this video was another realization to you and wake up call to you that this manifestation stuff isn't as it seems, and Not saying that it doesn't work, but understand most likely for you to get to a point to where manifestation works very quickly for you, you're going to have to go through those levels of development for it to work that fast for you. And I know some other YouTubers will hear that and they'll be like, no, he doesn't know what he's talking about. That's not true. But no, for a lot of you, it is true. A lot of you want to manifest stuff fast, but you're simply, the facts are, is you're not going to manifest it on your timeline, most likely. You're not. And those are just facts. I don't care how many days you affirm. People have been affirming for months. And that's what people don't tell you. People don't talk about these famous YouTubers. People don't talk about how they've been affirming for something for months and they haven't gotten it. There's so many people that have been affirming for months. So many people follow the other popular YouTubers and they just try to affirm. I've worked with so many people who try to just affirm or do whatever the quick fix is, and they've been doing it for months and they're nowhere. But like the person said, all of these people that are telling you how to lose weight, they haven't even lost weight themselves. And so, like she said, if it works, why don't you take your own advice? Why are you 300 pounds? That's just the reality. And most people don't want to. It's an uncomfortable truth, but we have to talk about these things if we want to get honest and really get results. So like I was saying, I hope these videos help and understand that you guys are gonna have to really figure out the right plan to take your manifestation journey forward and to really take the right steps so that you can eventually become a pretty fast manifester. Because once you get into alignment and once you really figure things out and do this stuff the right way, that's when you become a fast manifester. There is a saying that I can't think of right now, but it says something along the lines of when you move slow, you actually end up moving fast. Or when you move, there's another saying I heard by this rapper named Rick Ross. He said, "I don't want to move fast. I want to move correctly." But ironically, when you move correctly, you end up moving fast because moving correctly for the first 2 years, it may look like, damn, I'm moving slow. For the first 2 years, it may feel that way. But then once you get to year 3, 4, 5, 6, and beyond, you're moving extremely fast. And the money's piling in, the love's piling in, the opportunities are piling in, everything's piling in. But it's because you took those first 2 years to to build the foundation. And now nobody can catch you after those first 2 years because it seemed like you were moving slow, but you were setting up a solid foundation. So, like Ross said, I don't want to move fast. I want to move correctly. And that's how a lot of you should be looking at this stuff is you don't want to move fast. You want to move correctly. But see, the problem is a lot of y'all in the beginning, when you move fast in the beginning, for most people, you crash fast, you burn fast. Fast equals fast death. Fast climb equals a fast fall. That's just how it is for most people. Like I gave the analogy before in the past. Why do you think lottery winners lose all of their money in less than 5 years after they win huge lump sums of money? 200 million, 100 million, 50 million, 500 million, a billion, whatever the number is. In less than 5 years, that shit's gone because they received it fast. A lot of people can't handle blessings when they receive it fast. And another big reason that is why a lot of you guys should be happy that you haven't gotten your SP back. You guys should be happy that you haven't gotten your SPs back. You guys should be happy that you're not in a relationship that you want to be in yet. You guys should be happy. You got to adjust your mindset. A lot of you should be happy that your person has not come back or you're not in a relationship. You know why? Because the facts are a lot of y'all aren't ready. And if your SP was to come back, you would probably lose them again. Especially those that haven't really done the foundational work. You think that, oh, all I got to do is affirm. Hell no. I guarantee you, most of y'all that have affirmed or whatever and gotten a person back, I guarantee. See, what's not talked about is the people who have gotten an SP back but then lost them again. That's what's not talked about. We need to get some numbers and some data on that. I need to talk to people to figure out those numbers. How many people have been able to manifest the SP, but they lost that SP again because they wanted the quick fix. They did not actually do the foundational work. I guarantee you that number is well over 50%. Well over 50%. Probably more in the 70s, 80% at least, if not higher.